Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video with Brooklyn. I hope you all enjoyed your Easter weekend. I had a great time, so I'm back with another video. I've been MIA for a couple of days, so we're going to jump right into the video. I'm going to talk about DMX this morning. He's a rapper. So for those of you all who don't know who DMX is, everyone should know. But for those of you who don't know, this is him. And he is from upstate New York, okay? So it says here, DMX brain was deprived of oxygen for 30 minutes following drug overdose as his 15 kids rushed to his side. I didn't know DMX had 15 kids, so that was a shocker. He been busy. 15 kids. DMX's brain was starved of oxygen for 30 minutes as paramedics tried to save him from following a drug overdose, the report says. The rapper, 50 years old, who was rushed to a New York hospital on Friday, remains in intensive care and is fighting for this life as his family keeps a visual by his bedside, his rep said. It has been reported that he collapsed following a drug overdose. However, those claims have not been confirmed by his team. Okay, so this is allegedly. Okay, yet a family member told TMZ that the star's brain was deprived of oxygen as paramedics tried to resuscitate him for 30 minutes. According to the report, doctors told relatives that the lack of oxygen has severely impacted the rapper's brain. One insider said, "It's not looking good." And citing family sources, TMZ reports ex's fiance Desiree Lindstrom and mother Arnett Simmons have been allowed into the ICU to visit DMX. However, the rapper remains non-responsive. His attorney, Murray Richmond, said that DMX-born Earl Simmons has been joined in hospital by his first wife and some of his 15 children. Richmond yesterday told reporters that the 50-year-old was breathing on his own, but later retracted that statement, saying he had been given the wrong information. DMX's team then released a statement saying, last night Earl DMX Simmons was rushed to the hospital after collapsing at home. At this time, he remains in ICU in critical condition. Earl has been a warrior his entire life. Okay? This situation represents yet another road he must conquer. The Simmons family appreciates the overwhelming outpouring of heartfelt love, encouragement, support, and prayers for Earl. Okay? It says the source told TMZ he was in a vegetative state. Okay? While another insider claimed the Harlem-born star has some brain activity. Okay? So he was born in Harlem, but he was in White Plains, New York. That's upstate. So I had it wrong. He was born in Harlem, but he was at the time he was living upstate in White Plains, New York. Okay? So it says reports of his hospital treatment first emerged when New York rapper Eric B. shared an image of himself and DMX. Okay? So, and the other rappers are sending out captions, hashtag DMX hospitalized, we wish him well, and things like that. A lot of times when you are in the limelight and DMX, if anyone knows his history, he sung about his history, his relationship with his mother, his drugs activity. It's all in a lot of his music. He talks about a lot of his pain and suffering in his music. And from interviews that I've seen, DMX has never really seemed to be a happy person. I seen a interview when he was doing it with one of his sons, because he was estranged from his son, and him and his son met on camera with that Ivanka, I can't pronounce her name, but she does a TV show where she brings people together. Okay? and I want to say Ivana or something like that. And he wound up cussing her out because he didn't like the questions. But him and his son was brought together. He was high in that interview. That's the point I'm trying to get to. He was high. He was just tore up from the floor up in this interview, okay? And it was just so sad. And he talked about the relationship with his mother. And DMX, to me, has always been a tortured soul. He had a really, really bad childhood, okay? A really hard childhood. And he even stated once that he didn't have no respect for his mother. He called his mother all out of her name, but she was here at the hospital with him. And it's just sad that you already have issues coming up as a child into your adulthood, and then you just lean on drugs throughout this time to comfort you because you don't feel any comfort. You don't feel any happiness and any security. A lot of times you can make money. You can have all the wealth and the fame, but at the end of the day, as they say, money just don't bring you happiness. Happiness is something that nothing can bring you. Nothing can bring you but you, and it's just sad. I know people who have been on drugs in the past, hardcore drugs. But they found their way out, whether it's through religion, whether it was through going to the narcotics meetings. They are not on drugs anymore. It's been 15, 20 years, and they are happy. I've talked to them. They said they were happy. They feel much better about themselves. Sometimes you can dig yourself out of that situation. But it's evidently in this man's case, I'm going to say young man because I'm older than he is, he just could not find happiness. Is no way in the world that this man could have been happy to the point that he'd taken drugs and caused himself an overdose. And now he is laying there as a vegetable and don't even know who he is or who anybody else is. All of his fame, all of his fortune is going to go to someone else. He's never truly enjoyed himself. He's never been happy after all the money and the music that he made. And I feel like a lot of his music was made so he could tell his story. That's how I feel, because a lot of his music told of his anguish, And it's just sad because money can't bring you happiness. A lot of times, us that's not rich, we'll say, if I had money, I'd be happy if I was a millionaire. But really and truly, money, it may pay your bills and it may help your family members and friends. But at the end of the day, you are a millionaire. This man was a multi-millionaire and you are just miserable. He spent so many stints in prison and, it's just sad. My prayers go out to DMX. It's just sad. It's really, really sad that this is going on. And, there's able to be a miracle where he can wake from this vegetative state. A lot of people have come out of vegetative states, and we're fine. It may be rare. I don't know how often it has happened, but it's happened. People have come out of it, and maybe hopefully that they can find a way to, revive him. But it's really sad because he was out too long, and I'm surprised that the EMTs didn't stick him with that. It's a needle or something that has medication in it that reverses overdoses. Once before he overdosed and they stuck him and it brought him to, he was groggy. That was some years ago. But you just can't keep doing your body like that. You can't keep mistreating your body. It's the same thing with any kind of addiction. It could be food. You can mistreat your body so much with food that you become obese. You start having heart problems, high blood pressure. You get diabetes, strokes because of certain foods you eat, and you overeat a lot of times. And you rupture, you tear your body up. Your body can't take, your body is made to heal itself, and the body is made to go through a lot of things, but not abuse. It's not made to mistreat yourself. You're made to go through sicknesses and diseases, and your body was created to heal itself, and You know, when you have a cold, you know, sometimes you can just work through the cold. You know, you may take some cold syrup or something like that. But your body is not made to go through harsh treatment as far as drugs and poisoning yourself, your system. And a lot of people, you can do that with food, you know. And all of these things, that all of these addictions is comfort. Even with buying a lot of just clothes and just makeup, women like it. And I'm not saying that everyone that has a lot of clothes and shoes and makeup are addicted. I'm not saying that. But when it gets to the point that you're buying it just to have it and you're not even using it, it's just going stale, it's going bad, but you just keep buying it and piling and piling, but you won't throw it away, you don't want to give it away, then that is when they will call you a hoarder. And you know, a hoarder is not good. You know, it's like something is wrong because you're missing something. You know, I have a lot of shoes, I have a lot of jewelry, I have pocketbooks, you know, and I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not a compulsive shopper because I don't shop all the time. I don't buy something all the time. You know, I haven't bought something in, it's been months now, really, that I haven't bought anything big or anything. And, you know, who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? But you can't say in this case, people say, well, you know, when he got rich, when a person got rich, they became, you know, they got hooked on drugs and things like this. But he has always had a tormented life. Before he found wealth, he was already just a miserable person. And that's really sad. You know, that's really, really sad. And I hope that, you know, in his heart that he had made things right. Because a lot of times we look at people's actions, you know, and we judge them by what they do. But God looks at the heart, because the heart is what is deceitful and that can trick people. You could have a hard exterior, but on the inside, your heart is really loving and kind. But because of things that you went through, you show a hard persona, you know, and the Lord looks at your heart and he's like, that's not Brooklyn. You know, her heart, her spirit, that's her. And then you get people that show you a really loving exterior that would do anything for you, but their heart is wicked and deceitful. And you don't really know what's in there that they're capable of really doing, you know, and we're all capable of everything under the sun. We can all do things that we wouldn't even think of doing. But that's why God says he look at the heart and men look on the outside, because someone would look at DMX and say, well, he was on drugs. You know, he didn't want God. He didn't want this life. He didn't love his family. He didn't love his children. But we don't know what was in this man's heart and what God was looking at and what he was communicating with God on the inside. Don't go by someone's actions, because you just don't never know what's inside of someone. That's why God communicates with the spirit. He doesn't look at the outside. He looks at the spirit man, because we do a lot of damage to the outside. We harm ourselves on the outside and the inside, but he goes deep down on the inside and he talks to the spirit man, you know? So hopefully he was able to have some kind of communication and had himself right on the inside in his spirit. You know, we can't look at someone's behavior because we don't know what they are talking to God about. We just don't know. I know one time he had said he had gave his life to God, and that I think he was even a minister at one point. So we don't know, because we all fall short. We all do something and we all fall short, and we should not judge each other on each other's behavior. I mean, unless you're just out there, you know, raping and killing folk. That's I mean, you know, but you have to look at, you know, people in the Bible, like King David. King David took Bathsheba, another man's wife, impregnated her, had him assassin, you know, I mean, but he still had a heart, he still loved God. He had a heart after God. Those was his actions. He sinned, because we're all capable as being human beings living in a fleshly body to sin and do wrong. But our heart is what God looks at, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to say Phil Danke. That's thank you very much in German. So Phil Danke for watching me, and choose, that's bye in German. Also, before I go, y'all, I got me another wig. I got one this past Saturday, right before Easter. And I want y'all to see the back is gorgeous, okay? Hold on. That's the back. It has purple highlights in it, if you can see. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, but it has purple highlights. It's really beautiful. I used to wear my hair like this when the doobie first came out. When you used to wrap your hair, after you had big old rollers in it, and you would wrap your hair. My hair fell like this length. It was just, but it wasn't purple highlighted, but it looked just like this. So I thought this was pretty. So you all have a terrific Tuesday, and I'll be back with you all tomorrow.